The 10 most famous cartoon dogs. Playful, affectionate, and with an incredible personality, dogs have always taken center stage in our lives. They have even marked our childhood by becoming, in many cases, our favorite cartoons. Join us to meet them. ScoobyDoo. And we started our nostalgic list with the beloved ScoobyDoo, a scared Great Dane who, along with his inseparable gang, made us accomplices of each of his adventures. But did you know that ScoobyDoo was about to be a sheepdog? Can you imagine him robust and hairy? He would completely lose his unique style, and it is not only the secret that he hides. For starters, in its original version, he was not going to be named Scooby-Doo. At one point, in your mind, you can imagine millions of possible names. Toby, Rocco, Otis, Rufus, the sky is the limit. But his name was simply too much. Too much of a name for a dog, don't you think? He wasn't even going to be the main character, but simply a dog with dark glasses that played the bongo with his rock band called the Mysteries Fives, consisting of Jeff, Mike, Kelly, Linda, and WW. These 5 young people later became our current and improved characters. Jeff and Mike merged, creating the new Fred. Kelly was our beautiful Daphne, Linda in the intelligent Vilma, and WW in the clueless Shaggy. Sure, there's no rock band anymore. Great changes for great characters. Odie. Do you remember Odie, Garfield's unconditional friend? That tender little dog that was full of energy all day, who had a small yellow body and a pair of long, pointy brown ears. And how to forget his most famous feature, his very long tongue, which he used as a weapon to annoy Garfield when greeting him. Hundreds of sticky licks. Odie became so well known around the world when he appeared in Garfield that the very same lasagna-loving lassie had to accept the fame of his loyal friend when he saw the large number of letters sent by fans compared to his own, which was a single letter. Odie has great fans indeed, fans who know absolutely everything about him, very specific information. For example, Odie was originally going to be called Spot. Can you imagine him with that name? But chill, that creator, Jim Davis, knowing that there was already another animated character named that, decided to call him Odie. But why the name? Simple. Davis had already written a commercial for a car dealership, in which he introduced Odie, the village idiot. Davis liked the name Odie, so he just reused it in his new creation. Mystery solved. Another curious fact is that Odie's ears were not always brown, but black, as you can find in the first comic strips. It's also important that you know that its original owner was Lyman, a friend of John Arbuckle. However, when Lyman disappeared in 1983, Odie became John's pet and Garfield's lifetime adventure partner. But the most important date that Odie's fans celebrates is his birthday, August 8th, 1978. The day in which they remember his first public appearance. If we make numbers, over 40 years ago, Odie entered our lives and never left. Brian Griffin. A writer, intellectual, and lover of dry martini's dog? We are talking about Brian Griffin, the Labrador that is featured in the Family Guy series. One of his best friends is Stewie, with whom he has a unique complicity throughout the plot, although at the beginning he had some rivalry. The character was so loved by the public that a few hours after he died in a chapter for not surviving the injuries of being hit by a car, his millions of fans made a request on change.org that gathered more than 120,000 signatures asking its creator, Seth MacFarlane, to return Brian to the small screen. But in the end, did they get it? Of course! The strong refusal of the audience was noted and had such an impact on the media that the writers had no choice but to resuscitate Brian, although they had already found a substitute. The voice of the people was heard. It's no surprise Brian is one of the most iconic characters in the series. Jake. When it comes to saving the day, there is no better pair than Finn and Jake, delighting us with millions of battles in Adventure Time. The magical dog surprises us with unique features. While it is true that he is a confirmed prankster and does not miss the opportunity to prank Finn, he is much more cultured than you think. As the master musician he is, he knows how to play the acoustic guitar, the drums, the ukulele, and his favorite instrument, the viola. But like any expert, he hates that someone dares play terribly, even if it is Finn himself. And if that were not enough, he also knows Braille and creates songs as catchy as Bacon Pancakes.
Bacon pancakes. Take some bacon and I'll put it in a pancake.
Its success was so resounding that it had to be translated into Russian, French, German, Italian, Polish, Turkish, Japanese, and Portuguese. What a hit! Courage, the cowardly dog. On a farm in a town called Nowhere, we found the introverted Courage the Cowardly Dog, who is owned by the lovely Muriel along with her grumpy husband Eustace. But have you ever wondered how Courage ended up with them? His story is really moving. When he was just a cute puppy, Courage was playing with his loving parents and accidentally got stuck in a fence. Immediately, his anguished parents took him to the vet, without knowing that their misfortune was near. Once the specialist freed the child, he kidnapped his parents. By the time Courage realized what had happened, it was too late. His parents were locked inside a rocket heading for the moon. He could just barely escape from the hands of the lunatic veterinarian. On the street, disconsolate and alone in the world, Muriel comes into the scene, who feels sorry for the cute little puppy in diapers and calls him Courage after seeing the great courage he had to survive. With a new family, our scared friend knows that his biggest responsibility is to take care of them, even with his own life if necessary. It does not matter that fear invades him to the bones. Courage will protect them from any type of danger, from dark monsters, paranormal, or extraterrestrial events to incredible and mysterious creatures. Pongo and Perdita. Who has not heard about this amazing couple? And it is that after the tremendous box office success that 101 Dalmatians had on its release in 1961, Pongo and Perdita became world famous. On one hand, we have the brave and gallant Pongo, an incurable romantic who was able to find a match for both his owner and himself. And on the other hand, we have the lovely Perdita, who was a difficult task for Pongo, but in the end, she had 15 puppies with him. That's real love, right? But if it is about expressing love, there is no better example of it than when they, desperate because the evil Cruella de Vil kidnapped their puppies, Pongo and Perdita traveled dozens of kilometers to save their little ones. In the end, they not only rescued their 15 puppies, but also 85 other Dalmatians who were destined to become detestable fur coats. Now altogether, they were a huge family of 101 Dalmatians, with Pongo and Perdita being the luckiest parents in the world. But not only were they famous for their great story based on 101 Dalmatians by Dodie Smith, but also because although this was the 17th feature film by Disney, never before had xerography been used in its animations. What that means is that Pongo and Perdita, together with their large family, were the first big results of the innovation in Disney. It could even be said that each one of the almost infinite spots of the dogs were illustrated with this technique. To be specific, there were 6,469,952 dog spots on all the scenes in the movie. Now, if you are even more meticulous, you can realize that Pongo had 72 spots and Perdita 68. If you want, you can start counting them. Good luck with that! Santa's Little Helper. On this list, who cannot forget Santa's Little Helper, the loyal greyhound in The Simpsons who was rescued by Bart from an owner who got rid of him simply because he lost in a dog race. While not the bravest or most clever canine in the world, what is true is that he loves his family unconditionally. Pluto. And how could we not leave out one of the most representative and beloved Disney figures? We are talking about the intrepid Pluto. Yes, the unconditional pet to Mickey Mouse. Can you imagine Mickey Mouse's house without him? It is simply inconceivable. From his first appearance in the short The Chain Gang in 1930, Pluto came to Disney to make a difference. While he is the only important character that is not anthropomorphic among all Mickey Mouse friends, Pluto is the pioneer in animation, because of his ability to fully express his personality through animation instead of dialogue, because he had a wide range of facial expressions. But this playful hound hides a great mystery behind his name. While some think it is due to the Greek god Pluto, apparently they named it in honor of the incredible discovery of the dwarf planet that was made months before this character's premiere, a theory that would have a lot of logic for its fans. What do you think? Snoopy. Created in 1950 by Charles Schulz, Snoopy made his first appearance as one of the main characters of the Peanuts comic strip. Although he appears as Charlie Brown's mascot, this friendly canine beagle hypnotized the public with his personality and charisma, to such an extent that he is more well known than his owner. One could even say that perhaps he's one of the most famous comic characters in history. We all know how dreamy and thoughtful Snoopy can be, seeing him almost always on top of his little house next to his faithful friend Woodstock. But have you ever wondered why he is always on top and not inside his home? His great secret has come to light. Snoopy is claustrophobic, but still loves his house because inside it, Snoopy houses his greatest treasures. And before showing you the last, but not least canine celebrity on our list, we must make the following honorable mentions. Clifford, Droopy, Bolt, Goofy, Farulius, Doug, Slinky, Wren, Muttley, and Doki. Lady and the Tramp. And like all great Disney classics, we had to finish with a great happy ending that shows up thanks to two of the most memorable canine characters on the big screen, Lady and the Tramp. This lovely couple showcases one of the most iconic kisses in the history of cinema, and why not say it, one of the most romantic and delicious spaghetti-flavored ones. Voila! If these canine celebrities left you nostalgic when remembering, like the video and subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to share it on your social networks. Until the next video!